Hello, this is Jeremy Hasani Walker, and this is the commentary for Tailypo. Now, this is actually the first real group project I've ever done in stop motion, so I thought it should be that I should do a commentary for it, just to sort of mention all the people that have helped me on this. Now, the first thing I want to talk about is actually the story itself, which is actually based on an old folktale that I read when I was a kid. And I absolutely loved the book as a kid, and it was something that I've always wanted to make something out of it. And stop motion, it wasn't the first idea that I wanted to go with it. It was actually first sort of a live action idea, but I knew I couldn't afford that, and from there it was actually going to be a computer animated film, but sort of felt that stop motion sort of gave a more sort of gritty look to it that I think the story deserved. Now, the puppets here that you're seeing, the old man was actually sculpted by me, but the dog was actually made by Amanda Young, who I believe she's working at LucasArts right now. So it's actually the first stop motion puppet that she's ever made, and she did a pretty good job on it. It's a very loud dog bark. And all the music you're hearing was actually composed by myself, but it's more or less just a whole folder of sounds I've collected and then used a program to put the sounds together. So I say composed, but it's more or less just me fooling around with a lot of noises I've collected in a folder. Now, one thing I should mention that Amanda actually wanted to put on a dog was the jowls on him are clay. She wanted them to move around, which I wasn't too sure of, since this was a lot of people's first stop motion film. So I didn't know how they were going to react to that, but in the end it actually became my favorite part of the puppet. So when he runs, you do see the jowls move a bit, and I really like that part. And this whole sequence was used for the teaser trailer that was put on YouTube. Another great thing, the acts and all the backgrounds that you're seeing were painted, or they were at least directed by Ryan Lopez. He came in as he was the main painter for this project. And I thought we were going to have to do a lot of texturing on all the parts in this film. Like the walls, I thought we were going to have to bring in plaster and use plaster on the walls, but pretty much everything you're seeing in texture on the walls is done with acrylic. So she came in and she worked fast, and it actually brought down the cost of this project so much that, well, she was a great painter. So I'm very glad that she helped on this. And chimney smoke made from milk right there. There's a lot of things in this project that I'd like to point out, but I'm sure I'm not going to have enough time to. Now, from this point on, every scene you're seeing with the old man in the bed is animated by Kristen Clements. And this was also her first stop motion film, and she was, I remember she was actually nervous about doing the animation, but she did a great job on it. So there was nothing that she did that I had to go in and do any changes on. It all mixed in pretty well with the other scenes. The loud dog bark is actually my sister's dog that I recorded, and now I just keep that on file for when I need it. And animated birds by Caitlin McCoy, who I think is working at a gaming company now. This film is very dark, so I absolutely recommend watching it at night or just in the darkest room you can get. There's actually two versions on YouTube that have one is the original version, the other one is with adjusted levels, so it's a little bit brighter, so you can see everything. Now that rabbit's actually the same rabbit you saw, or at least the same puppet, not in terms of character, but the same puppet you saw in the beginning of the film. We only made one rabbit puppet, so he was just used repeatedly and placed here and there in the project. Notice rabbits seem to be appearing a lot in almost everything I do now. Now this part in the end, the creature is a main focus on the story, and I didn't really want to reveal exactly what it was. So there were a lot of designs, some looked cartoony, some looked just awkwardly creepy, and what I really wanted was just something that you hardly see, so you don't really know exactly what the figure is. And that ending was hard to come up with, actually. We had another ending that was a little bit more confusing. That actually showed sort of like an aftermath. And that aftermath, it was sort of something that there was some blood in it. I didn't really want blood in this because it's based on an old folktale that was sort of made into sort of a children's story, so I wanted this to kind of keep at least the aspect that a kid could watch it. So we cut that ending, which showed, I guess this is what the creature had done. And there was another one that showed the house afterwards, and that was confusing, so it just seemed best just to kind of end it like that, but I'm hoping in the future not to do too many quick cut sort of endings. And try to fit everyone that helped me on this project in here. Well, before this actually ends, I should also mention the thing of my name, which my name is Jeremy Hasani Walker, but I put in J. Hasani Walker only because Jeremy Walker was such a common name that whenever I search for it online, a lot of people come up, so just so I'm easier to find, I usually emphasize the Hasani part, which if you type in Hasani Walker in any kind of search engine, you'll find tons of results. It's mostly me that you'll find on there. And that's really the only reason for the name change. Alright, and that's Tailypo. I hope you enjoyed the film, and thank you for listening.